I'm the Sustainability Officer at Phoenix, and today we will be talking to Sipho. He is a content creator, a writer who started his career in advertising, and he believes himself to be an ambassador for laughter and recently became an ambassador for Phoenix. He will be joining us. He was born and bred in Mafeking, and he'll be talking to us about Phoenix, what it means to be a champion, and we'll just wait a minute or two before I ask him to join us. Yes. Hi everyone. Hi Nolwazi, we see you. Hey Ronel, good to see you as well. We're just waiting for Sipho and then we're gonna get the conversation going. But I just wanna ask everybody out there, how's the weather treating you today? I mean, it's really cold in Cape Town, incredibly cold. On our side, no, the weather is not good today, so just let us know how the weather is treating you, what you're doing to stay warm. Hi Sipho.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's the weather that side? Is it as cold as Cape Town?
Rubbish weather. It's not enjoyable at all.
Yeah, no, sure. Even on our side, it's raining. Good, we don't understand why the weather's doing this, hey?
Is it raining in Cape Town?
Yeah, it is. It is raining, and we had load shedding. And people will be having load shedding throughout the day. So I had my load shedding from like 12 until like 2:30, and that means obviously the heater's off. So yeah, no. Yeah, I felt the cold.
Yeah, I know we're going into some cold front this week as well here in Joburg. So it's since it's been like 2 days now, cold front approaching. It's windy, it's cold, it's a little bit miserable. Although born in August, I'm not a big fan of winter.
No, I'm not either. No, winter should be cancelled. I think this year winter should have just been cancelled. Should have actually just been cancelled.
We're going through enough, right?
Exactly. Now you add load shedding, winter, load shedding, corona, batung. Anyway, so we're gonna get to it. So first off, I've already told everybody who you are, what you do, and I just want to find out from you, what does education mean to you as Sipho? Like, what does it mean to you?
Well, firstly, I want to introduce you guys to, normally when people have these lives, there's like a bookshelf, and I'm going to do it in my living room, but I'm with my brother at home, so I'm in the bedroom now. But this is my bookshelf, so if it was hanging, it'd be right behind me. You guys can say hi to my plot, Icarus.
Hi, Icarus! Guys, say hi to Icarus.
Everyone say hi to Icarus. He's right next to me. Education, education is very important. I know when we initially started speaking, my feelings around it have always been that access to education is the most important thing, and I always encourage people, especially in this day and age, to definitely pursue education as much as they can, And I always speak about my story because I dropped out of varsity. So people always, initially, or the sentiment around somebody who dropped out is always like, maybe you don't care about education, or you left school because you don't value education. But my stance is always to encourage people to stay in school. And of course, what you guys are trying to do is exactly that, to pursue some or other course that you're passionate about, to try and stay in school and to try and complete it, of course. So I'm a big fan of education, even though I am a dropout myself. And funny enough, as you bring it up, I was actually thinking this morning when I woke up, I was having and for maybe for the past 6 months or so, I've been like seriously considering actually going back to school. You know what I'm saying? I'm toying with the idea, and I'm trying. And I thought maybe this year would have been the year, but there's just too much going on. But maybe it would have been the most perfect year to sit and study, actually. You know, because there's not much else you can do. But yeah,
Um,
I'm currently in that space of trying to go back to school. Maybe next year I'll try.
Okay, that's great. And so what you just said, that is amazing, people. The fact that, you want to go back. And what we obviously do at Phoenix and what we push is for people to not have to worry about wealth when accessing education. So with Cap the Gap, what we're trying to do is obviously bridge the digital divide. You just said that, this year would have sort of been the perfect year for you to go back, because then that would have kept you occupied and all of that. But for a lot of students, unfortunately, they don't have access to the resources they need to be able to continue with the study, So some of them are sitting at home, unable to continue with classes, unable to write tests, unable to finish assignments because they don't have the resources, which is why we came up with hashtag Cap the Gap, because we wanted to bridge that digital divide that's been created by the COVID pandemic, and which is why we were so excited to have you on as an ambassador. Like you said, when we had our initial conversation, you were really passionate and still are passionate about what we are trying to do, which I guess sort of answers my next question about why you decided to become a Phoenix ambassador, yeah, but maybe you could
Yeah.
expand on that a bit more.
Definitely, when you guys had hit me up, like I said, I've generally been thinking about school a lot, going back, and now I especially joined this year because of all the stories I've been hearing from people who are currently not able to access school because, of course, the whole COVID-19. Many people had to go home, rails had to shut down, and of course, introducing online learning immediately exposed the inequalities that we already know exist, with students who don't have data, who don't have laptops, are left to their own devices. They barely have textbooks. So I jumped on for that very same reason of that. I know people personally who are unable to access all these online classes for a variety of reasons, and they desperately want to. So I thought for myself that it was just like the perfect combination or a perfect opportunity for me to try and help where I can, to try and raise awareness, to try and get people to join, friends, family. Like we said, when we had the initial conversation, I told you guys that I'm surrounded by like academics, you know what I mean, of varying degrees. I myself may be like a freelancer and, like I said, content creator, and in this space, it seems like you don't need I don't need to be in school, or because I basically come up with like my own plan of how I work, and I am the brand and all that. But I definitely always encourage people. There's so much more to learn, and I'm a big fan of learning, even though it's not through formal education. So I try and soak up as much information as possible, try and share as much information as possible. And the fact that there are people out there who want to learn, who are desperately trying to overcome these circumstances and are unable to, is at the core of everything that I believe in, and the core of everything that you guys do. So as soon as you guys hit me up and you said, yo, I'll ask that question just now. As soon as you guys hit me up, it was natural for me. So it could have been a more perfect time. It could have been a more perfect partnership, I feel. And I feel like maybe I may even be the voice to encourage the right voice. Because normally people would be like, oh, I mean, like I keep saying, oh, you dropped out. So like, what's the value? What value do you see in education? But I say maybe I am the perfect person to speak on it, because people drop out for various reasons. There are people who generally just don't want to go to school. But at the time when I did drop out, that wasn't the reason. I had to choose between making money and staying in school and supporting myself. So that's why now, all this time later, I'm thinking I highly recommend, because I know there's people who toy with that idea. They're thinking maybe I should just leave school and go work, and they don't really have a choice, and to encourage them to maybe stay. And if organizations like Phoenix are able to help students who are already in school stay and finish school, because they really would rather do that before they go into the work environment, then I feel like it's something that I can definitely get behind.
Yay! Yes, Sipho, just before you answer Mabel's question about what you're going to study, I just want to say yes, thank you so much. I mean, for what you're saying about some students are forced to drop out because they're worried about fees, they're worried about student debt. They don't see the point of carrying on with school if you're just going to graduate with debt. And what we do at Phoenix is we don't want that to be a part of a student's journey. Students already have so much that they're going through, you know, on a daily, and student debt shouldn't be a part of that. You know, it shouldn't be a worry that they have to constantly think about when trying to get an education.
Yeah, no, and it just breaks my heart that there's so many, especially.
Okay. Yeah.
About that, somebody was trying to call me. I was trying to put my thing on silent because I'm actually in the middle of load shedding, so I'm using my phone data, not my Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I was saying, yes, what you're saying about debt-free education is important, and students do have enough to worry about. And my thing is always to see a student who desperately wants to finish school and do everything in their power to gain access to education and to try and keep up with all these challenges. It's not something that I take lightly, and wherever I'm able to help, I always take advantage of that and help students where I can in my own personal capacity. Back home, you know, we're friends and a group of friends that we always try and help less fortunate. When it starts with small things like school uniform, you know what I mean? Kids are scared to go to school because they're not wearing the right uniform. They don't have the right shoes. So the very, very basics, before they even get to the classroom, there's so many obstacles in between. And wherever, and I like the whole cap the gap, because that's the thing. There's so many gaps that need to be capped. And there's so many, that before students can sit down and actually start learning, there's all these struggles and all these obstacles that they must get, they must overcome. And every single bit helps. So whether it's data, whether it's a food voucher, whether it's school shoes, every single bit helps. So I feel honored actually to be a part of this thing, because the very small things that you guys are doing help. Somebody else can come later and add on to the initiative of what else the student needs, but every small bit helps. And I'm just happy that I'm able to now start nudging people, because that's what I want to do. I want to nudge people to be like, hey, we're not just speaking about it, we're not just hosting, we're not just posting stuff on Instagram. I need you guys to actually come through and help. Show me how you're going to help. Did you donate? Did you put 100 Rand? Did you put 200 Rand? Like, I'm nudging people that way. I want to see them actually do something.
Yeah, definitely. And they can start by going to www.capthegapfund.org. And because of Mandela Month, we're doing this initiative where you can donate as little as 67 Rand to help students get their resources. So yeah, earlier you were asked, Sipho, what were you going to study? What are you thinking of going to study when you go back?
I would rather go with it. I was doing copywriting, by the way. So I started my career in copywriting. I've always wanted to be in advertising. So I got an opportunity to go to Vega. And I was in Vega for about 18 months, about a year and a half before I dropped out. So I would prefer to go back and finish my copywriting degree in Vega. But other than that, I'm not sure. I'm very interested in linguistics. So I'm a big fan of languages, and I try and learn a lot of languages. So I something in linguistics, something that I could also go and do. Like, I'm currently learning Japanese through an app. Sorry,
okay.
you broke up there a little bit.
Yeah, I think there was a connection, error yana. So, okay, this is really great. I wanted to also ask you about community, because one of the things at Phoenix that we believe in a lot is community and the importance of community. hence the crowdfunding aspect of Phoenix and the crowdfunding aspect of Cap the Gap, because we believe that motho ke motho ka batho, you know, Ubuntu. So what does community mean to you, and how do you think people should assist one another as a community?
Well, I think community, especially how or where we come from and where I was raised, is everything. You know, when you grow up, you know, in the like collocation, you know, when you grow up or when you go to a village, every child, it's not just they're not just parented by their own parents in the house. It's like every other adult in that village or in that town is that child's parent. You know, we look out for each other, so that you give them the same respect that you're giving at home. When you leave your house, you give that respect to everybody else. Everyone that you see in your community, you help out, and that's why I always bring it back to when we speak about community. You know, as Black people, Black funerals and Black celebrations are very, very big. Sometimes too big. You know what I mean? We love to come together to celebrate a 1-year-old's birthday, to celebrate a graduation, celebrate a marriage. It's just a lot of us every single time, and it's shown in those times that how big our communities actually are and what they mean to us. We love to support each other. We love to celebrate together. So it must be the same, and it's not just the same when we're celebrating, and even when we're mourning, we all come together. You know, you know, or you know, you come together to help each other through terrible times, and this is what might happen with education as well, and we must put our money where our mouths are, because I think what's something that's very important about giving is that people always think that you must give a lot or give nothing. You know, people feel like if you're not going to give a lot, then it's not important. You know, if I can't give 10,000 rand, what's 500 rand? And I think that's the first thing that you must squash, and we must try and take out. Like, every little bit helps, especially for what we're trying to do here. People need to understand that data. You know, you're buying students data, and that very small price of that's 100 rand. You know, that they need for a couple of days or something, or that's 200 rand. So put that in people's perspective. That's how little you can start giving. So you speak about 67 rand, it actually means something when you speak about who's going to be receiving it, because they really need that 50 rands worth of data that's going to last them an entire day to be able to access online learning or whatever research that they need to do while they're home and unable to be in class. Every little bit helps. I think we need to stress that.
No, definitely. Every little bit counts, and I see that you've had so many call to actions so far in this conversation, which is amazing, and which is what we are also trying to do, is to get people to understand that every little bit counts. And we're also constantly sharing student stories. One of the most amazing things that we've come to realize is the joy that with every laptop that a student receives, every food voucher, every data voucher, it brings them that much closer to a finish line that they didn't even realize would be taken away because of COVID, you know, and now it feels like it's being taken away. But that 67 rand is the difference between hope and getting closer to that finish line, you know. So like you said, every little bit counts. And Mabel just mentioned something here, which is also very important, about lockdown and how it's shown us the importance of community. So tell us, how's lockdown been treating you? Because I saw your video about lockdown. How's it been treating you?
It's been very, very weird. It's just, you know, half the time you don't really know whether you're coming or going. I think the most important thing is that I was telling a friend of mine is that, you know, it's great being a freelancer and working for myself and, you know, having my own time. You know, nobody tells me when to do stuff. So I'm constantly, and sometimes I even get the luxury of working when I want to work. You know what I mean? In terms of my bills or whatever. But now, I've never, and so trying to be disciplined and keeping busy is the most important thing, right? Because you can't just sit around every day. Then it's been over 100 days. If you feel 100 days if you spend 100 days doing nothing, you know? You start to feel like you're sinking or something. And I've been in that situation where I've had absolutely nothing going on, and I remember that stress of nothing. So I've been trying to keep busy and trying to write a lot and trying to have some sort of discipline. But what I was saying to a friend of mine, because I was talking to him a couple of days ago, and I called him while he was busy, at his workstation at home. So he's talking to me, but he's stressed out about something at work, and he's like, you know what, I'll call you back later. I'm trying to figure something out here at work. I'm like, all right, cool, man. We'll talk later. And I'm like, I kind of miss having a 9 to 5 because self-discipline is a lot in terms of getting yourself up and getting yourself to work, doing it by yourself. But in this pandemic, especially, having that discipline, or having the fact that
trying to call me as well.
people are being so rude, but I'm gonna shout out so many people when I'm done here. Because they know. It's like my ex friends who I actually told. So I don't know why they acting like they don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I was saying the fact that people who have to wake up and be part of like Microsoft Teams from work and clock in and clock out, I'm like, during this time, I don't think they understand just how valuable that is. You know what I mean? Trust me, you don't want to have too much free time on your hands. You actually want to look forward to the weekend, and that's another important thing. You have to set yourself these small little milestones and saying, I'm going to work for such and such a time and then have some free time. I'm going to look forward to the weekend for such and such a reason. We have to create these things, these barriers. Otherwise, it's going to feel like a movie called Groundhog Day. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
Now, Groundhog Day, it's this guy, he wakes up and every day is the exact same day, but only he realizes it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So he wakes up every single day and it's the exact same day it was yesterday, but everybody else doesn't know. He just keeps waking up to this exact same day. Imagine that you woke up every day and it was the 9th of July, and every single day you wake up is the 9th of July.
So that's what lockdown sort of feels like. If you don't create, I think Sipho. I guess that's what lockdown sort of feels like when you don't create that, like you were saying, like that discipline, when you don't have a routine. So just a quick one. What do you think lockdown has been like for students, particularly those without resources?
Oh, of course, for them, it's, oh my goodness. Can you give me 1 second?
Yes. 1 second. Bring back Icarus. We'd love to see Icarus again.
I'm sorry. Do you know who's actually trying to call me? There's a delivery outside.
Okay.
The delivery guy is stuck outside and he's busy trying to call me. I was just telling my brother to go to go talk. I'm so sorry, guys. Hopefully
no problem.
So yeah, of course, you're saying for students how lockdown has been. Man, I can only imagine just how difficult it's been. Because I don't know what the schedule is like or if the exams have been moved or tests have been moved, but you're actively having to keep up because everybody else is moving forward, and you feel like you're being left behind. And all that valuable time. Now, already you don't have access to, already it's hard enough, the money that you need to be in school. So you come up with that already. Maybe your parents have sacrificed so much or taken out loans, or maybe whether it's NEFSAS or whatever, these opportunities don't come about very easily. Just the opportunity to get to the fees themselves. So you have all that stress of the fact that you actually have to pay for school to stay in school, but now you actually literally cannot access your education that you're paying for. So I can only imagine just how sad some students must be, how depressed they must be, how little support they must be receiving. That's why I say all these small things mean so much to them, because they don't just give them access to just education. It just restores your worth a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you start to feel like you're not a part of the world and it's moving forward without you. And it's just those small things breaking it down just to a human level of wanting something so bad and trying so hard and just feeling like everything is working against you.
Yeah. Wow. What you just said is I actually felt it when you said, when you feel like everything is working against you. And I think that's what a lot of students, like you said, are probably going through. They probably feel like, okay, I've raised enough to go to school, or at least I'm going to. So I've raised enough for my registration fees. So now I'm registered as a student. The year is going. I'm going to the computer lab, so I'm able to finish assignments and all of that. COVID happens, and now what? You have to go back home. You don't know if you'll be able to finish the year. You don't know, are you going? Are you coming? Are you going? And it goes to, like you said, it talks a lot about what we as a community can do to help take away that feeling for students, that feeling of not knowing whether you're coming or going, that feeling of not feeling like it's worth it anymore, or trying to create a better life and future, not for yourself. For a lot of students, it's for their families as well. And I'm sure a lot of them feel like, oh, I probably let my family down. But coming together as a community to say, how can we assist? How can we help during this time? And, lockdown, COVID, now load shedding. It's just, 2020 needs to just be put in in rise.
20, I think we're going to look back on this year and I don't know, probably not even believe it. We really, because there's that's the other thing about it, that with everything still going on, there's like an actual real pandemic actually happening. It's not just, fun, or not just like just have to stay at home and just, it's weird when you think about it, when it's not close to you, but like literally, the more this pandemic grows, especially here in Joburg and you guys in Cape Town, these two cities being affected the most, now everybody either knows somebody who's tested positive or maybe even lost somebody. It's getting closer and closer and more real. It's not just something that we were reading about. When we started off in March, it seemed so far away. We're looking at other countries like Italy and going, yo, how they even, just how horrific it actually is. That there's an actual fear of leaving your house now. So it really is a difficult time for people to be able to navigate through this and to think, and through all of that, you must study, you must keep up with school, and you must pass.
No, definitely. What would you say to your followers, and of course our followers, right now, in terms of like paying it forward and cap the gap? How would you encourage them to make that donation, that small donation that will make a huge difference?
Well, first of all, I would encourage everybody to completely, what I said before, is to remove the thought of there's no such thing as too little. So we must start there. There's no such thing as too little. And for a lot of people who have jobs, they are able to contribute something. So it's very important to me that everybody contributes something. I don't know if that 67 Rand is where we're starting the point at, for Mandela Month especially. Going forward, of course, you can always add. And I say every last cent helps, and the difference you're going to make in another human child's life at school is immeasurable. You know what I mean? It's immeasurable what it's going to mean to them to just be able to breathe for a second and be able to access school and to sit down and not have to stress about it. And you can be the person that makes that very, very, very small difference for you, and the impact it's going to have on another child's life is just going to be so immense. And I can't remember who it was now. I was watching, my aunt started watching YouTube because I have a YouTube channel, and she never used to be on YouTube like at all. So she's discovered all these wonderful things on YouTube now. So she sends me links to like motivational speeches. She's in the space of YouTube where she's found like a gold mine of motivational speeches. So every single day she's like, have you seen this one? Have you seen this one? Have you seen this one? So she actually sent me one the other day that that I actually hadn't seen, because some of these are like so old that if you've been on the internet for like 10 years, you've seen everything. So the one particular one that she sent me was saying, and I can't remember who it was, who the actor was or actress, but they were saying that you must give, because it's the right thing to do, and you must always give back. It's very, very important. Every single stage of life that you go, you must always give back, and you must always remember where you come from, regardless of how little you have always find a way to give back to your community that helped to raise you and to people that are out there struggling who have much, much less than you. And so you must do it also because it feels good. You must do it because it feels good. It feels good to make a difference. It feels good to take something that you have and to give it to someone, and just to see the joy in their face is worth it. You know, for yourself, for selfish reasons, it's worth it as well. To see a joy that you can bring into somebody else's life, it's worth it.
No, definitely. Definitely. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one as well, because I've watched plenty of motivational videos myself. I haven't seen that one, but it sounds like one I should definitely watch. And it's good that your aunt is putting you on those motivational videos, but like you said, you've probably seen all of them. But look what came out of it. There's one that you hadn't seen, and it's the one right now that you're able to be like, yeah, guys, like, you know, give because one, you should, and two, because it's the right thing to do. So yeah, which ties into paying it forward. So at Phoenix, we really believe in what we call paying it forward, which ties into what you were just saying about giving back because the community raised you, because you're going to be helping somebody else, and they could possibly help somebody else in the future. So it ties into what we believe. Someone said you should become a motivational speaker or a preacher. So, Mfundisi.
I can't believe how many people are trying to call me. It's actually ridiculous.
But yes, are we looking into in a career in preaching? You know, Mfundisi, you know.
No, I would never preach, but like I would definitely go around talking to kids. It's something that I just like with Phoenix, you guys, it's something that I'd be happy to do at any given time. So the more blessings that God shows on me, the more I plan on giving back for the rest of my life.
That is amazing, Sipho. Thank you so much. So we're about to wrap up, but before that, can you just give one strong call to action to everybody who is watching, just to motivate them to go to www.capthegapfund.org to donate?
Yes, it's capthegap.org.
Capthegapfund.org.
All right, guys, I need everybody who is tuned in to go to www.capthegapfund.org and give something. Every single person who's on here, give something. You have to tell us what the amount is. You go out and ball out with $50, $100, 100,000, whatever it is that you're able to do, give something. Challenge yourself to give something to this organization. Help a student. Do it for them, do it for you as well, but also do it for the spirit of community. We have to, especially in this time, stick together and come together to help each other through this weird period that we're in. And with your help, you can help ease a little bit of stress for the student out there. It's worth it. I promise you. Let's do it together. Please, I'm begging you. All of you.
Before we go, can we please see Icarus one more time so we can say bye to Icarus?
Absolutely.
Everyone say bye to Icarus and Sipho.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to do a lot of amazing stuff. Let's do as much as we can in this month of July. We're gonna push it.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Sipho, and thank you for jumping on the bandwagon and being part of the Phoenix community, and for being a Phoenix champion. We look forward to the amazing things that we're gonna do together. So yeah. We look forward to catching up with you soon. Askies, you're late, shame.
But you must save the live and keep it under your videos.
Yes, definitely. That's what we are going to do. So thank you so much, Sipho. We look forward to this amazing partnership with you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Cheers. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay, we can go.